Yeah, I'm very happy. Opening your own restaurant is a dream.
The food industry is about to be turned on its head because Gordon Ramsay is taking his empire to the next level. It's not easy to keep massive business deals a secret, especially when they're worth $100 million. And we've got the latest intel. In just a few years' time, we could be buying a burger from a Ramsay restaurant instead of McDonald's, or a pizza slice from the celebrity chef instead of Dominos. And if it all works out, he could be a foul-mouthed billionaire in no time. In the world of celebrity chefs, there's one name that reigns supreme above all the rest. Not Jamie Oliver, we're talking about the one and only foul-mouthed British chef, who's actually born in Scotland, in case you didn't know, Gordon Ramsay. With such an unrivaled level of fame, Gordon has become the poster child for food and food entertainment, earning stacks of cash along the way. Throughout his esteemed career, Gordon has created a portfolio of restaurants as impressive as any man on the planet. How many are we talking exactly? According to the Potty Mouth's very own website, he's the mastermind behind 35 restaurants around the world. They're scattered across the USA, the UK, France, Hong Kong, Singapore, China, Dubai, Qatar, and Italy, combining for a whopping 16 Michelin stars over the years. Not a bad resume, huh? If that wasn't enough, he's owned over 20 more in the past, which have since closed in places like London, the US, the Czech Republic, Italy, and Dubai. Their closures helped to fund his current establishments, and trust us, those current restaurants are making a lot of money. So he's clearly a man of many restaurants, but he's also a man of many talents. Did you know that he runs marathons? How about the fact that he used to be a pro football player? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, those 35 restaurants around the globe that welcome thousands and thousands of hungry visitors each day have allowed Gordon to slowly but surely build up a sizable net worth. Guests just can't seem to get enough, throwing all the money he's made from F This, F That cooking shows like Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmares. And it's easy to see how he's notched up a value of close to $220 million. In 2018 alone, he made $62 million. So, to equal just one Gordon Ramsay, you'll need to average 1,100 average Americans. Now, we know he's purchased tons of fast cars and expensive houses with all that dough, which we'll touch on a little bit later, but it's not easy to spend $220 million. That's why Gordon is gearing up to tackle a new venture, something that could revolutionize his already massive presence in the worldwide food industry. It's 100 new restaurants, that's what. He's teaming up with private equity firm called Lion Capital. In case you don't know the name, they're the driving force behind Wagamama Restaurants, Kettle Chips, and even the high fashion company Jimmy Choo. Together, they're eyeing a venture worth, ready for this, $100 million. $100 million. This wouldn't be the first time that Lion and Gordon Ramsay have teamed up, though. In fact, Lion actually owns 50% of Gordon's overarching restaurant company in the United States called Gordon Ramsay North America. The other half, of course, belongs to the celebrity chef himself. Together, Lion and Gordon have created a huge plan to open up 100 new locations across the United States by 2024, which, in Gordon's own words, will be one of the most exciting food brands in America. That's a pretty tall order. And so is 100 restaurants in just 4 years. It's not as much time as you think. It's not just 100 of the same style of restaurant either. It will be a multi-layered brand that he hopes will divide and conquer the industry. So, what can we expect from this massive project? First of all, there's Gordon Ramsay's Street Pizza. This won't be the most budget-friendly pizza joint, so won't necessarily need to compete with the likes of Pizza Hut and Domino's. But it can certainly take over the mid-tier establishment should everything go well. That means that it might put mom-and-pop pizza joints out of business. Think about it. If you had the choice between 2 high-quality pizza restaurants and only one of them was owned by a celebrity chef, which one would you go with? Yeah, let us know in the comments. It's said that these upcoming restaurants will mimic the bottomless pizza concept that the Gordon Ramsay Street Pizza location in London already implements. Then there's the so-called Gordon Ramsay Bread Street Kitchen. Ramsay considers these places like a take on the Cheesecake Factory, which extends its menu to include his infamous, super expensive beef Wellington, plus some burgers, fine steaks, and salads. There's not a whole lot to risk with these restaurants since he's already proven them to be a successful concept in London, Hong Kong, Dubai, and Singapore. They could compete with independent brunch-style cafes as well as chain restaurants and steakhouses like Outback, Claim Jumper, and Longhorn Steak. steakhouse. Perhaps the most interesting idea in the works, however, is the so-called Great Burger. In 2018, Ramsay applied for a number of trademarks for several variations of the logo design of the phrase. And now that he's got Lion Capital on board, Great Burger could become a reality. Could this compete with McDonald's on a grand scale? No, since there are close to 14,000 Mickey D's across the country, but on a small scale, it's entirely possible that it could put franchises out of business. If a McDonald's and a Ramsay-owned Great Burger were located smack bang next to each other, which would you choose? Share your thoughts in the comments. It'll be a step up from Mark Wahlberg's Wahlburgers, that's for sure. I mean, come on, that guy's not even a chef. This $100 million idea is obviously a massive step forward for Ramsay, whose investments up until this point have been much smaller in comparison. Usually, he would open up a couple new restaurants here or there, the most famous of which are in Las Vegas and London, but 100 at a time? Unheard of. Take the Hell's Kitchen restaurant at Caesar's Palace in Vegas. A seafood platter for two will set you back $99. That's about 28 Big Macs. Feel like adding on 12 grams of caviar? Well, then that'll cost you the equivalent of 200 McNuggets, or $45. If you want to try his signature beef Wellington, get ready to fork out $57. In terms of Gordon Ramsay's annual income, that's over 1 million juicy beef Wellingtons being sold every year. So while his restaurants aren't bargain basement for eaters, Gordon clearly rakes in quite a bit of cash from his sales. While the Vegas spot churns out a hefty profit, no doubt, it's far from his most prestigious and expensive restaurant. That would be Ramsay's flagship restaurant in Chelsea in London. In this fine dining French cuisine establishment, a 3-course meal costs £130. That's close to $170 US. But why French? Well, a young, slightly less foul-mouthed Gordon actually began his career as a chef over in France. And that famous beef Wellington we've spoken about? Yeah, that's French as well. It used to be known as filet d'un boeuf en croûte. Gordon loves his French food, and he loves his wife and kids, but with that much money to burn, he tends to splurge on something a little too fancy for himself once in a while, too. He's been known to splash his cash on rare and extravagant supercars, usually from Italy and the UK. He's got his LeFerrari, for example, which he could afford with about 24,500 beef Wellington sales. Or the LeFerrari Aperta he reportedly ordered to go along with it. That's right, a car with a side of car. Then there's the SP2 Monza, the black and gold McLaren Senna, and KTM X-Bow. Not to mention the sleek Aston Martin DBS Superleggera and a Porsche 918 Spider. And seriously, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So if his venture with Lion ends up turning out to be another Gordon Ramsay success story, he might need to buy himself a bigger garage or a few more properties to fit all those extra cars he'll be buying in the future. Oh, I wish YouTube paid that well. What kind of cars would he add to his collection? Well, there are plenty of futuristic concept cars that we're sure he and any other car lover for that matter would love to get their hands on. Check out our video of the most amazing cars about to be released. But okay, enough with the cars. Where else does his money end up? Well, not with his kids, that we know. Gordon has expressly stated that his 5 kids, Matilda, Jack, Holly, Megan, and Oscar, won't be getting a sliver of his treasure chest. Instead, he wants them to pave their own path and learn the values of hard work, just like he did. The only thing he'll help out with is a deposit on an apartment for each of them. Do you think that's cruel or unfair or just good parenting? Cast your vote in the comment section. He's also splurged on a massive home out in Los Angeles, which is reportedly worth a whopping $7 million. A second home in London with 2 kitchens, one of which was specifically built with a price tag of $1 million alone. And why not throw in a $20,000 Rolex to top it off? As you can see, money is no object. Here's the thing though, this new idea and upcoming investment could make him 10-folds richer. Let's assume that this 100 restaurant venture with Lion, which includes the Street Bread, Great Burger, and Street Pizza brands, all see early success. How would this affect his wealth? Could he then rival it with the richest people on the planet? Well, Jeff Bezos' $124 billion is pretty hard to chase down. But we could easily see Gordon Ramsay becoming a billionaire if there's no major hurdles. I mean, think about it. He's already making around $70 million a year, earning $225,000 per episode of Hell's Kitchen alone. So if each of the 100 restaurants turns a profit of $1 million per year, he'll be making $100 million a year. That's not a difficult feat though. $1 million per restaurant is the equivalent of 10,000 seafood platters at each place, which is just 30 per day. So that'd give him $120 million per year from here on out. Add that to his already existing net worth of $220 million and he'd be a billionaire in just 6.5 years. Take that, Jamie Oliver. Interested in learning more about Gordon's crazy car collection, or want to check out how The Rock spends his money instead? It's all here on our channel, so have a scroll. We'll see you next time back here on The Richest. Later.